to MandoBug Crafts, episode 33. I am MandoBug, and you can find me pretty much everywhere on the internet as MandoBug. I am known as Amanda in the real world. And I just want to say welcome, new viewers, and thank you for coming back, returning viewers. It's appreciated as always. And so why don't we get right into the show with something I've learned. This week I have learned how to process my fleece a little bit more efficiently. So I went ahead and made another little video, and I'll go ahead and share it with you guys here. Hey, so I'm processing some more fleece this morning and thought I would show you guys what's been working well for me. Hi Chloe, here, say hi, look over here, look up. Nope, she just wants to look. Callie, you come see Mom. Okay. So the first thing that I've been doing differently is looking at my fleece differently. Because it got washed in bags, it kind of got smushed together, and I've been paying more attention to where the actual locks are. I'll pull a bit out. So, I've been paying more attention to where my dirty dreadlocks are and where the sheep was sheared close to the body. And I'll take it and I'll twist it right about where the dirty locks start, and I do it in small bunches and I flick it open. And sometimes I don't get all the ends, so I just move down, twist closer to the end, flick some more. And if any bit comes off like this, I take it and I put it in my little spare bag that I have. And then I do the other side as well. So this was the side that's close to the sheep. And I've been flicking this side in addition to the other, not so much to open it, but to kind of flick out the second cuts that might have gotten stuck to the sheep. So now I have a little piece of fiber like this, and that's what I load onto my hand combs. And I like to load from the side that was next to the sheep. I like to load that into the back, because that's where all those little nuts usually are. And I just repeat those steps until I have a full comb. Okay, so now I have my comb about as far loaded as I want it. I don't like to load it much more than this, and I will show you why later. But now you can see that there's not any lock structure left in this. I haven't combed it at all, it's just been flicked and then loaded. And so now it's going to be really simple to just comb it back and forth. And I should only have to do about 2 passes. I've learned through trial and error, which is my favorite kind of learning, that the combs really are helpful just to kind of align the fibers and comb that vegetable matter out. They're not really meant for opening the locks like the flicker is. I mean, they can, but that's because it's not their purpose, it's harder. So I have my tiny bits left. I showed this to you guys last week. I found out that I know exactly what I'm going to do with this. A lot of you guys gave some great suggestions, and I will probably try those out too. But if you see the neps, I think after I wash these again, I think they can be dyed into some awesome tweed add-ins. What do you think? So I flicked it open to fluff it, and I'm going to pull it up these combs just to kind of open it out. So I appreciate you guys commenting and letting me know that, hey, I did have a Diz in my house. I didn't even know. So I've been using this spice cap from one of my spices as it is. I dropped a little out and then I twist it, make a loop to put it through one of the holes on the spice cap lid. And then what I do is the space with all the area, because my fiber's in this hole, this will push the fibers into this hole. So it's kind of like which direction you want to go. So I have it to the left because I want to go to the left. You just push up to the teeth let go, which is nice on the hand combs because when you let go you can reinforce this comb in your lap. Then you draft some fiber. And I've noticed starting out is a little harder than after you start getting some off. And you just kind of repeat that. Draft a little, not so much that it breaks, and then you push it back down again. You can see that Disney gives you this nice, very pre-drafted roving, and this is a dream to spin from because it's already drafted for you. It's absolutely amazing. You can see how after dizzing, there's not a lot of fiber left behind. So the new process that I've kind of come around to has really quickened the amount of fleece that I've been able to process, and it's been quite nice. I feel like I'm processing at least 2 or 3 times faster than I was before, and what's really made the difference is flicking those locks open before I put them on the combs. So, and don't worry, I know last week I said I'd talk about Rolags this week, and I will, just later in the show. So, moving right on to works in progress. So, I'm still working on my Albers socks. These are Albers. Woo! And they're from the Albers Socks book by Stephanie van der Linden. And so I started out with these squares, these 4 squares in the center, picked up and knit what they call a stair step on one side, and then a stair step on the other side of the squares. So I have this for both of my socks now. Still have no idea if they're going to fit me or not. Still have no idea how these are going to turn into socks. I mean, I understand the diagram, I'm not seeing it on these yet. So, but it's been fun and different, so I am enjoying knitting them. I'm knitting them on US size zeros, out of Wool to Die For's platinum sock that I dyed up in like an indigo color and like a gray color. So I'm still working on those, and then I also spun up 2 ounces of Stony by Gail's Art. This was my gift from Lindsay that she picked up for me at Stitches South. So this is a merino bamboo silk blend, and it's super shiny and super soft. I was shooting for about a fingering weight. I'm letting the singles rest. I think I'll get it in the end. So I'm really happy. But I do have to share. So a lot of you really enjoyed Chester the Naughty Kitty. Oh yeah, that's what I ended up naming him, by the way, is Chester. So Chester the Naughty Kitty is really naughty. So he really likes to get into my craft room, and I have to learn to shut the door because it's not good. I think he attempted to pre-draft this fiber, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a picture of that. So yeah, that's pretty ridiculous, huh? And you want to know what's even more ridiculous? As I was spinning it, I found a claw. And I have a picture of that too. So yeah, thanks Chester. What the heck? So, I mean, the fiber is undamaged. I mean, I think he was just licking it, really. I'm not really sure. Trying to eat it. I'm gonna go ahead and pause and let my dogs out. I don't know if you can hear them, but they are squealing. Okay, so now that the dogs are outside, I can continue on. So, I've also been working on the cross stitch I put down for a little while. This is Be Unique by the Nerdy Little Stitcher on Etsy, and I'm really close to being done. As you can tell, all I have left is to fill in the sheep with the gray thread. I think this is going to turn out super cute, and I really like the way that the hand-painted floss turned out. So overall, I'm really pleased. And this project, just like my spinning, Chester helped with this too. Actually, he was more of a nuisance, but he helped a little bit, and I was trying to teach him, because wouldn't it be cool if my cat cross-stitched? Here, why don't I just show you what happened? Did you get it? That's the wrong one. You want this one. Chester, the cross-stitching kitty. Give me that. Now it's my turn. No, you can't eat it. You just pull it through. Wait. Wait. Wait, no. You'll only do that half the time, Chester. So yeah, I tried to go with the flow and see, okay, if you're gonna attack it, maybe you can learn to cross stitch, and no, because he just wants to take the thread no matter what. So it didn't really work out. So, but that's coming along nicely. So moving on to finished objects. I don't have any this week. I just have been working on works in progress, and I just haven't gotten around to finishing anything yet. So hey, that's okay with me. Sometimes that happens. So moving on to check it out. This week for check it out, I would like to talk about a designer. I haven't done this before yet, but I've been blown away by 2 designs by a designer recently. So if you haven't seen the patterns, you should probably go check them out. Most of you probably have, because I know some of you did the Greek Fire knit along. So I'm talking about Joshua Rykes. He's the designer behind Geoknittrix designs, and I saw all those Greek Fires being finished lately, and I am just in love with them, and I need one. But more importantly, have you seen the Mystik spiral socks? I need one of those. I need a pair of those. And it's not like I don't need to cast on any more socks than I can finish, but come on, have you seen them? Go check them out. I'm gonna link to them on my blog, which is linked from the description of this YouTube video, so seriously, you should go check them out. And really, the ones that caught my eye were from Instagram, and Knittables, I forget her name, but the wonderful lady from the Knittables podcast knit up a pair in these like rainbow self-striping that had like clouds in them, and those are my favorite. But they're all really gorgeous, really, because it's a great pattern. So I already bought it, and I haven't cast on for it yet, but that takes me right into current events. So I went to the Festival of Alabama Fiber Arts, woo, tongue twister, this last weekend, and so I'll start with my shopping. I picked up sock yarn to make the Mystik spiral socks. So this is from the Color Wheel, and it's a nice dark rainbow. Are you surprised that's what I like? Of course not. It's a beautiful dark rainbow. And this is strong sock. It's 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and it is in the colorway Adams. Oops. So I'm assuming it's not quite the Adams colorway. It's got a little mistake in it, but I don't care. It looks nice to me, and I'm sure I'm going to enjoy the skein anyways. This is actually my first skein of self-striping yarn. Can you believe that? I just haven't gotten around to buying any before, so it's a 6-stripe striping Stripy Striperson. But this was the only yarn I bought at the Fiber Festival because I was looking for fiber, of course. So I picked up some fiber for Lindsay, and she'll probably share that in her podcast. But then I got some fiber for myself as well for a souvenir. And so walking around, you know, they had fleeces, and I already have too many fleeces. It's going to keep me busy forever, so I didn't need any fleece. They had a whole bunch of fleeces that had already been sent to the mill and come back as roving for sale, and I didn't need that either. Hi, Chester. And, but I walked past this booth. So this is, no, you can't have it. Oh my goodness. Chester. That's right, lay down. This is by Wooden Spinner Fibers by Brenda. And she's a local business in Mississippi. And I got myself 2 bats. And these are gorgeous. And what I really like about her booth was she like makes a bunch of these bats, and she keeps one and she spins it into yarn and knits up a swatch. So you get to see the yarn and the swatch next to the bat. And that was really cool. It's got these nice Tweety bits in it, and that looked really cool in the swatch. And if I had the paycheck for it, I would have picked up enough bats to spin a sweater out of this. Chester really likes it. I don't know if you can tell, but he's attacked the corner. No! And he's attacking the other corner. But these are really soft. They're Merino Silk, Sari Silk, BFL, and Angelina. So I'm really excited to spin those up. And then, so let's talk about the real reason I went to the festival in Alabama. Because I wanted to take the From Rolex to Riches class, and I did, and it was absolutely amazing. The class teacher, Jen, was full of so much knowledge, and it was much more than just making Rolex. So we got to touch a whole bunch of different fibers. So I got to touch fiber I've never even touched before. She had bags of, I'd never touched bamboo by itself. She had Sari Silk, Tessa Silk. She had faux cashmere, which is really nice. I would like to get me some of that. She had Angelina and Firestar, and so I could tell the difference between those. I hope you can't hear Chester in the blinds. Chester, get down! He tries to climb the blinds, and it never works out for him, and I don't want him to knock the camera over. But she also had a bag that said milk on it, and sure enough is yarn made out of milk. She said that they put milk through a machine that like gyrates, and somehow that turns it into yarn. I don't know, but it was definitely interesting. So we got to touch all that and talk about all that, and then we used blending boards to make Rolex. We used a drum carder to make Rolex, and we used hackles to blend fiber and then diz off some roving. So I started spinning some of the Rolex, and that's what this is. My very uneven worsted weight attempt. And it's just because the Rolex weren't made very well. They were really hard to make on the drum carder. And I'm pretty sure now that I'm not going to get one. I thought that I would want one, but you can do pretty much everything that you want to on a drum carder on a blending board. You can even make mini bats on a blending board. I haven't tried it yet, but there were a bunch of mini bats for sale at the festival. And I felt like it was really hard to control everything on the drum carder. I'm sure it's because I've had more experience with the blending board, but I was having a lot of difficulty with the drum carder. But, so like this Rolag, you can tell I made on the blending board, because I've had some experience with that. But like this Rolag came off this Rolag came off the drum carder, or like this one as well. They're not the fiber wasn't blended very well, but I have a whole bunch of these. So the class was $45, and you walk away with 4 ounces, so it was definitely worth every penny. I would have been fine if the class was $45 and you didn't get to keep any of it. So, or maybe even if you only got 2 ounces. So this is the roving that came off the hackles, and it's very nice and blended, and it's pre-drafted, so it's a dream. It's a dream. Chester, get out of the window! It's a dream to spin with, because it literally just spins itself, honestly. So I am pretty sure I'm gonna be looking into getting some hackles in the future. I mean, this can be done on hand cards, but they're only this big, and hackles are like, boom, so you get very long pieces of roving versus a whole bunch of tiny pieces, which I guess it doesn't really matter except for speed. So it's not like an imminent purchase for me, but I probably will purchase hackles in the future. So the class was amazing, and the festival was fun. They had some dyed bunnies there. I think I have a picture of that, and I could probably insert that here too. The dyed bunnies were super cute, and there were some sheep there, and there were a bunch of people spinning and knitting, and it was definitely worth the 4-hour drive. So since I learned how to make rollags, and I haven't shared a video about that yet, I went ahead and made one, so here you go. So what I do when I load the blending board is I kind of just push down some fiber and draft it on there. Now, this fiber has already been combed, so it's pretty pre-drafted. If you have some top that you got commercially, you'd have to do a lot more pre-drafting than I'm having to do with this fleece that's been combed. And one thing to know is anything you put down first is what you're going to see on the outside of the rollag. So if you want it to look nice or a certain color, you put that down first. Now, normally you don't have to brush between every layer, but because this fleece isn't really catching, I'm going to go ahead and brush it in so I can apply another layer. And that's pretty much what you do to get a rollag. So I'm going to just keep applying fiber. To blend off the fiber, make sure you don't see any of the red tape behind the fiber. And I don't see any, so it's time to roll the rollags off. When it's time to roll the rollags off, just take your 2 dowels, put one underneath, and get all that fiber. Place one on top, and kind of offset them just a little bit because you're going to need to be able to pull them apart later. Oh, maybe it'll be easier if I show you on this side. They're just slightly offset. Make sure you get all the fiber. You roll up to make sure the fiber's on there. Then you pull up, you draft a little bit of the fiber down, but not enough to where it will break. And you roll up some more. Pull up, draft down, and then roll. And this rollag's looking pretty full, so I'm going to go ahead and start pulling it off. And right now I'm just drafting it until it breaks. Then I have a rollag, and to get it off, you just grab one of the dowels, grab your fiber, and pull. And now, you just slide it right off the dowel, and you have yourself a rollag. Yay! And the better you draft the fiber when you apply it, and the more evenly that it's applied, the better your rollag will look, and the better your rollag will spin. Oh yeah, I was going to show you the Rolags that I made in that video. I forgot. They're just sitting here. So these are the Rolags that came off the blending board. And this is all processed fleece from Blossom. So it's all dyed green because the first thing that's going to be made out of the fleece is going to be a hat for my mother-in-law, the one that owns the sheep, and she asked for a green hat. So I'm hoping these will spin into a nice heathery green yarn, and then I'll be able to knit a hat from them. This is only 2 ounces. I have some more dyed fleece drying out in the garage, but I can always dye up more, so I have plenty of fleece to go around. So I'm really excited to start spinning this up next. So the only other thing in current events is the current knit along, which is the April and May finished objects thread. So we still have all of May coming up that you can enter. You can enter as many things as you want, but you'll only get 1 entry per category for the drawing, just because I want to make sure that everything stays fair. I don't have the prizes picked out yet. I know I say this every week. But I'm pretty sure the yarn will either be some of the yarn that I've already hand-dyed, or I'll hand-dye some new yarn. For the fiber, I'm thinking of some hand-dyed roving, if not some Rolags, depending on how much my skills improve. I'm not going to send you Rolags that don't spin well, promise you. And then most likely it will be fabric with some small notions for the fabric category. So, I mean, they're going to be good prizes. So moving on to upcoming events. I don't have anything upcoming. I'm still working on the open wide sewing tutorial. So that's not ready yet. So other than that, that's all I got for you guys. So I hope you guys have a good crafting week, and I will see you next week. Bye!